Hello everyone, today this lesson is going to be mainly about how to color in a human form. I'm going to show it to you through this drawing that I've done in Procreate. You can see from a drawing here, I am starting to draw the guidelines. Okay, I need to do the guidelines and mark out the shape first before I do the details. And for the details, I get a structure in for everything, make sure the proportion is where I want it to be, where the eyes, nose, eyebrow, hair is where I want it to be. Then I start to refine each part, each line, each shape into the shape and curves I want it to be. And then I darken the lines so that each detail is nearer to what I have in mind, and make sure the curve, the strokes, as I darken it, it is nearer to what I intend to be. And since you're going to a cartoon version, you can start to exaggerate some features of yourself. Okay, make some lines curvier, make some parts bigger, make some parts smaller. And of course, this is where you can darken the lines. This part you should have done it already. You can even shade it a little bit so that you know which parts are darker. So now I'm going to talk about the brushes that you're going to use. You should have gotten it now on your iPad. Okay, this is a brush that me and Miss Tan bought. Okay, it's called the Gouche Max Pack by this artist. Alright, so this pencil that I use is the U600 pencil series, and it is really good and sensitive. It is really very good for sketching and drawing and marking out things. For painting, normally I use this brush in a pack, which is the Max U Wash Smooth. I use it to paint big surface area, and personally I prefer if the overall work looks a bit more paintery, which you can see from the edges is more unfinished. Then I use two kinds of brushes for shading normally. First of all, I use this one. It's called the Gouche shader. I like it because you can see there are gradual tone, and the way it shades is not very smooth, which gives the work a nice texture. But of course, if you prefer it super smooth, you can use the Gouche Wet Soft shading tool. Okay, so you can see that some parts I do use this very smooth way of toning and shading for the in-between colors. Is very effective. This brush is really like a very painterly brush and wet, so in between tone it will really help with the blending. Alright, first thing, change your sketch layer opacity lower, create a new layer, then paint the base layer with a solid color for the skin tone. Alright, choose something that is quite near your own skin tone. Okay, so now you use the Gouche Red brush to do the shadow area of the skin tone. Choose a brown version of the color you have chosen.
Use the light color of the beige and do the highlight using the same brush. This is an extra step that I'll take. Normally, I will choose a pinkish color to help brighten and tone the cheeks.
Once the base is complete, now I will create contrast by adding more darker brown for the shadow part, so that each features and each shadow is more defined and there's higher contrast. And now the base is done, so we'll start on the details. Okay, so now we'll updo the eyes, the base of the eyes, and also add more color tone to the skin, some oranges and some pinks, so overall it is brighter. Then I'm gonna add more brown tones to the side of the eyes, the lips and the nose, so that there's more depth in the facial features. Then now you can see that I'm adding more browns and shadows to the arms, the face, the darker parts, all the inner parts. Alright, observe your photo, take note where the dark areas, so that your drawing becomes more defined. So I'll use a brown black and the Gouche clean brush to do the details of the eyes, nose, lid. This is the outline part, which is very important in making your work very refined. Okay, you can see that I repeated a lot of times here because it is not easy to get a smooth, neat line, especially if you're not very used to doing digital artworks. Alright, you can take a few tries. Alright, double tap on the screen to undo. Okay, so after for the eyes, if you add a little bit of white, you create some highlights which make the eyes look better also. Okay, for the lips and the nose, just focus the dark line on the sides. Alright, do not overdo it. Okay, and your nose, do not do the brown line on the side of the nose. Then I'll use a white to do the highlight on all the areas that are lighter. You can observe from your photograph, normally it's the forehead, the nose, the cheek area, the side of the arm where the light hits, the edges of the finger where the light hits. Alright, so you use blending the white, then after that it looks really harsh, right? So you can use the smudging tool to blend it into the colors. Then I'll take black, almost brown, or even black, is up to you, to finish and refine the details like the eyelashes, the iris, the shading, the nostril, side of nose, the chin, the side of the face, to really make the whole work more refined. Then I'll take a lighter brown to do the base of the hair. Okay, just color in the shape first, you don't need to do the strands yet. Also, I will make the brush smaller and create little parts of the hair that is falling out from the side of the face, falling out from the side of the hair, to make it more realistic. And don't forget to do the eyebrows. Alright, observe your eyebrows within the shape. Then I'll take a really light brown and to do the highlights of the hair, but for this part you have to observe where the light falls on hair. Okay, you don't need to draw every single part of the hair, just parts that the light is shining on. Okay, so it creates texture on your hair. Then I'll take a brown black to do all the dark parts of the hair. You can see that I only do the areas that's where the darker hairs are, and also use this color to touch up on the small little strands of the hair. Okay, if you do this 3 layers method, your hair will look like it's more textured and it's more realistic. I'll use the same dark color to do the rest of the outline of the body. Some parts which you feel that it's light, when you look at a photo it's light, you don't have to do it. Just do the areas which you feel that you need it to look more clear. Okay, then you complete your human with coloring of the clothes or the object that your human is holding. Remember, each part you have to add shadow and highlight. You have to try to create texture for the different object, especially your clothing. You must observe the fold of your clothes and try to recreate it with a darker color and also highlight.